2-1. Let's go. Here we are, 401 Sportsbook Network on YouTube. The calculator's in the house with Mr. 401 crossing the lines. What's up, calculator?
Hey, greetings and salutations, Mr. 411. Hey, you're going to see a pattern this week. Usually, we're kind of heavy into the SEC because those are the good power ups. But this week seems like this is the week where the SEC gets a lot of practice games in this week. Like the Alabama against Eastern Illinois, and just different things where they're tuning up for their big their rivalry games next week. But really can't fault the SEC because they got such a tough schedule throughout the year. And that's not just me being biased. If you don't believe me, go and look at the schedule. They play ranked team versus ranked team almost every single week. So sometimes it's like, hey, they don't get the Minnesotas. They don't get the Northwesterns during the year. If they do, it's an out of conference game. That they get. They don't get those during the regular season. The only break they get is when they get these lesser schools. And it's kind of good for the lesser schools. They get a little extra money into the bank account. They get some TV exposure. So some of those kids, that's their Super Bowl. So I think it helps everybody. Unfortunately, I think it's going away because recently the SEC made that new where they got to play another divisional game, and hey, the TVs were kind of wanting the more marquee matchups and stuff like that. So hey, they got to follow the dollars. You know what I'm saying? But for now, what we'll do is for this program, we're going to concentrate on a lot of the Big 12, Big 10 matchups because those are the ones closer that we can actually see and competitive games.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, man. And you mentioned this in our production meeting, man. Man, the season's almost over already
Yes,
for crossing the lines. This is
yes,
crazy, man. We can't
yeah.
even get started.
Yeah. You got next week. You got Thanksgiving. And that's filled with college. All the way from big games from that Thursday with the pros and some decent college games, and then heavy and now Black Friday has some in the NFL, but then they got some college games, and then it's college again on Saturday. So it's a busy weekend, and then after that, it's championship weekend for a lot of championship games that you could say are important, but sometimes they're not as important as they used to be. For example, Georgia will be more than happy to not have to play championship weekend and still get into the top four. But hey, Georgia earned it. Did they not, Mr. 401? Look at how many top 15 teams they beat this year. Their only loss is to another top 10 team. So, hey, if you rack up the wins, but you're in such a tough conference that you don't have, hey, you still get rewarded. But yeah, I think Georgia would not be upset next week if Alabama takes care of business against Auburn and goes in the championship and plays Texas A&M, because Georgia says, hey, I don't have to play next week and I get that first round bye. So Georgia is a very although last year they weren't the a beneficiary of that. They had to play in the championship game to get the bye. And what happened? They got their quarterback hurt in that championship
Yeah,
game. So a lot of things could backfire. But hey, I guarantee you, Georgia's not going to be upset if Alabama beats Auburn next week. But that, hey, we'll let that go, we'll save that conversation for another time.
absolutely. Okay, well, I know we got the Friday special.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have, let's see, what, smelly line. We're gonna
Oh
have
yes.
jackpot,
The jackpot. So
and of course we have our algorithm
oh,
pick. You know what I'm
Dr.
saying? We got a
Sachs,
lot of stuff to cover.
Dr. Sachs had to come out of hiding because Dr. Sachs has had some fantasy questions for the calculator. So we traded some secrets again in the before we went live. So always appreciate Dr. Sachs helping us out as well at the end of the show. But hey, like you said, we're going to start it off the Friday. Hey, there's only two games, and you know what? You're going to see it's crazy because I was going to go. Hey, I was going to go with one, but Dr. Sachs talked me off of the ledge, and I decided,
Really?
okay, yeah, and I'll go with that when I talk about the algorithm. But yeah, the one I'm going to go with, this is a strictly, okay, everybody, if you've listened to the show enough, I'm a Florida State fan. It's been a rough couple years. I'm still trying to, hey, as well as the team, still trying to recover from that diss 2 years ago of going undefeated and not even making the playoff. But that's okay. it takes a while to recover. Norvell's fine, and Norvell I think will hit another. I think he'll hit another good transfer portal next year. But this year, after that Alabama win, it kind of went downhill from there. And I don't know. I can't really pinpoint it. But when I started looking at it, it really looks like it's a home road thing. Florida State plays good at home, bad on the road. And their matchup this Friday is a team that is just the opposite. Plays good on the road, or plays good at home, bad on the road. Well, guess what? As proven, if you don't take my word for it, Florida State's last 2 home games, lost to Clemson by 14, a loss to Stanford by a touchdown. Not your powerhouses at the ACC by any means, but they're just it's something about a road. And then you turn around, North Carolina State, their last 2 road games. Yes, it was a 56-10 against Campbell, but hey, that 48-36 beating of Georgia Tech. Oh, and hey, check out the prior shows. We called a North Carolina State to beat Georgia Tech at home. We said they were going to cover the spread, but we said sprinkle some on the money line because we just had a feeling they're that much better at home. So you take such a good team that's so much better on the road against a team that's so poor on the road, or I should say North Carolina so much better at home, Florida State so poor on the road, and then you take a standalone game Friday night. We always talk about how I do value that. I give a little extra juice. And I'm taking NC State. 4.5. Listen, it's above that 4. It was actually 2.5. Then people started, getting Florida State, and I was like, whoa! Now it's went up. They were pounding it all the way through that key number of 3, and it kept lying. And 4.5. I say, hey, folks, we got to buy it now at 4.5. That's what we say. Like, subscribe, notify, because this could go back down to 4, 3.5 as more and more as Joe Public gets in there and starts seeing the road home splits between these 2 teams. So take it now. It's 4.5 as of this production. Take 4.5. Take NC State. And again, I love my team. I'll always be with my team. But when it comes to friendly wagers, you got to take the bias out of it. And I'm taking the bias out. I'm taking my Florida State jersey off. And I was like, when I got to take it out of it, I think North Carolina might actually win this game outright because they are great at home. And then take it a Friday night standalone game. It's just that much more. But hey, if you don't want to do that, at least you're going to get 4.5. You know what I'm saying? For 1-1, even if Florida State does bring their A game. But yeah, I just think this is a great spot for the Wolfpack.
Okay, say go to the Wolfpack, and hey, man, that's how Calculator does it, man. He calls it down the line, even though he has that Florida State jersey on. He said he'll
Yep.
take it off.
I'll
Some
take it
people
off
may want
tonight.
you to take it off now, Calculator.
I ain't taking it off now, man. Come on now.
Right now on the screen, man, for some so we can boost some of these ratings, man.
No, sir. No, sir. Can't do the show. I'd have to go and get my 411 shirt and put that on instead.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
All right.
so,
All right, we're going with the Wolfpack on that Calculator. All right, what's next on the
hey,
table?
jackpot time. That's right, folks. You see it on the screen. I'm loving this spot, and I'll tell you why. Minnesota, they got blown out by Oregon last week. But before that, an double overtime win against Michigan State, a win against Nebraska. Listen, if Minnesota doesn't play a top 15 team, Minnesota does well. Folks, guess what? Newsflash, Northwestern's not a top 15 team. I don't care that they almost beat Michigan at Wrigley Field. Michigan we'll go over Michigan later on in this production. But, hey, 3 straight losses. When Northwestern plays a team, Northwestern's going to stay in the game. Don't get me wrong. But there's not such a severe mismatch. And guess what? This isn't at Northwestern's home field. This is at Soldier Field. Yes, it's almost Northwestern backyard, but Minnesota will be having fans coming to Soldier Field as well. Listen, I think these teams are too even. And again, look at the key number, 3.5. Folks, Minnesota wins the game straight up because I think Northwestern is going to have that. We always talk about hangover effects as a good motivator. I don't know how they're going to overcome what should have been a win against a far superior Michigan team. I think that's going to kind of be with them in this game, and then I think Minnesota will take advantage. I think Minnesota will get an early lead. Northwestern just too much to overcome in the end. And I think Minnesota's going to, slow it down. They're going to play Minnesota. Northwestern cannot play a game to get Minnesota out of the game. What I mean is to get Minnesota out of their game plan, Minnesota plays a team that can throw the ball. Northwestern is not that. Northwestern is a run the ball, play defense. Minnesota says, thank you. More please is what they'll say, because they'll run first down, second down, kick a field goal. Minnesota wins the game straight up. But again, at this point, we don't have to win straight up. We're getting a full, don't even have to pay extra juice for the hook. So it's 3.5. Minnesota covers the spread. And again, sprinkle a little on the money line. And folks, you want a little extra juice? I would suggest a 2-game parlay, money line parlay, Minnesota, North Carolina State. Take it, because then hey, you're going to know by Friday if you're still in it, and then you can start, trying to sell off shares if you need to. But right now, I really like both those teams, not only to cover, but to win it on the money line.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Hey, man, you are on a roll, calculator on fire, maybe. What's next?
Oh, hey, next is Houston and TCU. I got this game for the mere fact is it's a close game. It was a pick 'em, but now, some people are starting to put money on Houston. And why not? We bet against Houston last week, or bet against TCU last week. What did I say in that? And go and pull up the tape if you didn't believe me. We said TCU is not the same team, another team that is not the same on the road. Well, guess what? They're on the road. Houston, they won a good game, a battle against UCF 2 weeks ago. So they've had the bye week, and now they bring their top 30 pass rated defense at home against a TCU team reeling off of 2 straight losses, a 44-13 woodshed beating by BYU and a 2017 loss to Iowa State at home. Folks, TCU's not going to be able to win this game. This is a strictly who's going to win the game. Houston's going to win the game. It's only 1.5. Don't have to give it. This almost made my jackpot pick if it wasn't for Minnesota getting that hook. But this one, Houston's the better team. TCU, Hoover, after that hot start, has cooled off. I'm going with not only momentum, but a team that's I'm really fading TCU more than backing Houston. So take Houston -1.5. Oh, this next one. I told you earlier, I was foreshadowing. We said we're going to talk about Michigan. Folks, we talk about sandwich games, right? Michigan, yeah, they beat Northwestern. They beat Purdue. They beat Michigan State. They beat Washington, their last 4 wins. 4-1. Tell me a top 25 team I just mentioned in their 4 victories. Not impressive.
None.
And you know what? All 4 of those, and this was after their 31-13 loss to USC. 5-0-5 against their spread in Michigan. Folks, there is no way Michigan should be favored by almost 2 touchdowns. Yeah, I know Maryland lost to Illinois. I know Maryland lost to Rutgers. I know Maryland lost to Indiana. But 2 of those 3 teams are actually good teams. So Maryland has had a little bit tough competition, folks. And guess what? Michigan gotta have a little. We talk about hangovers. You can have a win be a hangover as well, because they look lethargic. And I'm telling you, what is next on deck? We're going to talk about the look-ahead effect in this game. Guess who's on deck for Michigan? Ohio State. You can't tell me that Michigan, who's 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games, has the look ahead of Ohio State on the board that they're going to cover 2 touchdowns. I don't see it. They got to play it close to the vet. You think Michigan's going to want to show any new plays in this game? No. And you get Maryland as a home team. Listen, Michigan's going to win the game, but again, I think it's going to be one of those closer games that Michigan, playing it close, because they're going to save everything for next week's Ohio State, because Michigan knows they win this one and they beat Ohio State, they have a legitimate talk in the playoffs. Yeah, not much, because they had a couple like that Oklahoma loss, but hey, Oklahoma playoff team. But if you have an Ohio State win on your resume, that is what counts, and that's what they're going to be looking ahead. I think they're going to take Maryland lightly, and I think Maryland keeps this close. I think Michigan might just get a last-second field goal again to win this game. So take too many points for Michigan to cover against Maryland. Hey, they couldn't even cover that 13 at home against Purdue. You think they're going to cover it on the road against a similar team in Maryland? I don't think so, Mr. 401. I'm taking Maryland plus 13.5 in this one.
Yeah, and Maryland, I mean, hey, they can get jacked up for it, even though this is not the Michigan of old.
Yeah,
It's still the
yeah.
name brand
The
of
name,
Michigan. And
yeah,
so
the
this will be a game
name.
where they get jacked up for.
Yeah, yeah, like Maryland said, yes, I know. Hey, Maryland's lost their last 5 games. Don't get me wrong. It's not like they're coming in on winning streaks. But hey, if there's anything that can get you pumped up, it's a game against on your home field against Michigan.
Right. Absolutely. Man, 13.5. Wow. Okay.
That's a lot of
Interesting
points
line there.
that's
That's a lot.
that's a lot for a team that hadn't covered in their last 5 games with the number one team in the country next week.
Yes, sir. All right, Calculator. I think you're undefeated so far.
Yeah,
Next, man, is
I'm,
about discovering the team.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I don't have the SEC messing me up this week. SEC's been killing me the past couple of weeks. So I was like, hey, I don't have to worry about the SEC week. I'm gonna concentrate on Big 12, Big 10, ACC, and see how we do.
Yeah, man. So this next matchup, they're not in the SEC, but they're in the SEC
Uh,
area,
yeah,
if you will. Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh. I mean, what piqued your interest in this matchup?
well, hey, we gave that was one of our that was our jackpot last week, if I'm not mistaken. You gotta check the tape. But we had Pittsburgh getting run off the field by Notre Dame. We said Pittsburgh is not as good as their record. Just look at the underlying metrics. We said Notre Dame will score early and often, and Pittsburgh would have trouble. I said, I don't care if College Game Day was in Pittsburgh. I don't care what I said. That game is going to be over quick, and it was. Notre Dame took care of business, and Georgia Tech again. Much better home team than a road team. Listen, 41-16 at home against Syracuse, 35-20 at home against Virginia Tech. Yes, not powerhouses, but better at home. Yeah, Georgia Tech struggled last week. Don't get me wrong. They got lucky against Boston College. Again, I think that was the hangover effect from their North Carolina State loss. But listen, at home, I'm getting, historically, when I look back and I got some information from Vegas and the database from a couple of the books in Vegas. If you look back in the last 5 points, Georgia Tech has played very rarely had a 2-point edge in advantage of home field advantage. Folks, that's not this team. That's the prior year teams. This is a legitimate team at home. Georgia Tech will be able to slow down the Pittsburgh defense enough and let King work. Listen, I am worried about the Georgia Tech defense. No worries. But it's only 2.5, Mr. 411. Listen, Georgia Tech's got a great O-line, has I don't know why the guy isn't talking about Heisman. The guy has put up Heisman type numbers, running the ball, throwing the ball, and what I mean is the quarterback for Georgia Tech. He has been an MVP type player for they would not be anywhere close without him. And I think we talk about look effect. I think this is they could have some look effect with Georgia ahead this week, but they know the ACC is riding, because if they lose this game, they lose that ACC championship matchup, because the only way Georgia Tech's getting into the playoff is to win the ACC. So I think they're going to really be concentrated on this game. No look ahead effect on this, but because of the monumental of this game, how big this game is for Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're under the key number of 3. Hey, I'll take a tie game all day, and then Georgia Tech's all American kicker kicks a field goal and wins by 3. So get it now, because this could go to 3, Mr. 401. Again, I said it once, and I'll say it again in this broadcast. Like, subscribe, notify. Folks, notify, because you need to know when we come on, because we're going to give you the lines as they are. Lock it in at 2.5 before it moves to 3, folks, because Georgia Tech wins this one by a field goal. My number actually had it as a 4.5. So I would feel, at 3, but if it's under 3, take a little of the extra anxiety as you're watching this game out of it.
Yes, sir. All right. Take the rambling wreck. Hey, man. They do have a game coming up against Georgia. It's going to be exciting. It doesn't have the same steam as it once did, but hey, I still think that's going to be a big game too. So yeah, they don't need to overlook any teams going ahead to that as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because say Georgia loses that game, Georgia loses that first round bye. That's you need that first round bye and home field advantage in the playoffs. So I think Georgia will. That's almost like their championship game. They say, hey, we don't have to play in the SEC championship. Let's make this our championship game to make sure we get that first round bye into the national playoff.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things at stake. Okay. All right. Hey, man.
Oh,
Penn State and Nebraska.
smelly
Man,
like
what? It's a smelly line. Why is
Yeah,
it a smelly line calculator?
just look at the size of that. How in the world is Penn State favored by over a touchdown over any team? And not as any team, Nebraska in the top 5 of the Big Ten. But Nebraska, they're all American Raiola. He's out, so their backup quarterbacks in there. So I'm thinking, that could be something. But then I started looking a little deeper, and it's like, hey, that backup quarterback did pretty good last week, 13 for 15 for 3 touchdowns. But folks, it was UCLA. A lot of teams have been successful against UCLA. Yes, UCLA beat Penn State and all that. But that was when UCLA was, emotional. Penn State was beaten down. Listen, Penn State proved me wrong last week. I thought they'd be a little rough coming off of against the number 1 and number 2 teams, but they showed resiliency on the road, 28-10. And folks, I'm sorry, there's a reason Latif was a backup quarterback in Nebraska is because he wasn't as experienced as Raiola. Well, guess what? You're going into Happy Valley, and I don't care how bad Penn State is, they play good at home. Heck, they gave Indiana everything. Penn State almost beat Indiana at home just 2 weeks ago. Remember, Mendoza had to have that last second touchdown. So Gus Johnson is still calling that touchdown. That was one of the greatest touchdown calls of all time, by the way. Shout out to Gus Johnson. So, but yeah, Penn State at home, yes, it's a big number, but folks, if I'm going to have the Penn State I've seen the past two games against a Nebraska team with a backup quarterback that only has 1 road game against in his belt against the UCLA team. That road game was good. Hey, everybody likes to play in UCLA. It was sunny there when so he was doing good. Hey, he's not going to have the same success against that Penn State defense. Penn State's defense is nasty, and you got Singleton, and you got they got the 1-2 punch. They have two running backs in Penn State that will be playing on Sunday. So 2 NFL running backs that can basically defense, running game. They'll cover the 7.5 in Happy Valley against Nebraska.
All right. That's an interesting matchup, man. Now, calculator, you're great, man. You're great at finding those smelly lines.
Yeah, I got it. Smelly.
Because that one does. It does smell.
I'm about to say that's a big number because if you look at Nebraska, Nebraska barely lost to USC, got a win against Northwestern. They had that blemish against Minnesota, but they beat Maryland. So they were one of the better Big Ten teams. And Penn State they got a better record than Penn State if you look at just that record, but you got to look at recent games in this. So 7.5. I think Penn State wins by double digits, to tell you the truth. So I'm not scared. The hook doesn't even scare the calculator at this one.
Okay. All right. Well, there it is. All right. BYU and Cincy.
Oh, hey, we're going to ride the BYU train. They brought us, ever since that Texas Tech shellacking, we've backed BYU, and BYU has, actually, we did back BYU, and they made me pay for it for that Iowa State game. But that's okay, because I'm backing BYU now. It looks like the books don't like BYU, because when I look at Cincinnati coming off a 30-24 loss against middling Big 12 Arizona, and come off a shellacking from a team of Utah. Folks, BYU beat Utah just 4 games ago. Beat Utah 24-21, and Utah just shellacked Cincinnati, woodshed style, 45-15. BYU, we could say they had trouble on the road, but that 41 against Iowa State was on the road. That's not too shabby. 33 against Arizona. Again, another team that beat Cincinnati. Not too shabby. Listen, that freshman quarterback is no longer a freshman quarterback. He will put up enough points. And that BYU defense, they got a lot of people that came off their missions. They're like 23 years old on that defense. So there's some grown men in that backfield. They gotta say, man, where did these guys come from? They got full-grown beards on the D-line, man. So yeah, BYU's defense is nasty. Those guys will come into play. Listen, I like that quarterback enough. And again, another key number under the. I'm saying BYU wins by a touchdown. Hey, Cincinnati, great story, but they were so front loaded on the schedule. The UCF win, the Oklahoma State win. Not one of those teams are power rated in the top 50, much less the top 25. But when they played a good team, Utah, they even did play a good team. Arizona, they had a loss. So yeah, I'm not worried. Cincinnati's coming down. They're on the other side of this one. They're going to meet a nasty defense. And BYU, they win the game. They have a rematch on the horizon against Texas Tech. So they have a lot to play for. So I think they're going to take it seriously. They're going to go on the road and they're going to win this one, and they're going to win by more than 2.5, Mr. 411.
All right, there it is. BYU. They having another good season, by the way.
Yeah,
BYU.
yeah. What a freshman quarterback. Freshman.
Yeah.
Hey, I love that. I love that coach. And that coach, you want to talk about a passionate coach? That guy gets as passionate as any fan when they did it. And I'm telling you, I love coaches that are passionate, because I want a coach to be as invested as me. The Tom Landrys, get out of here. I don't care how successful you are. I don't want the stone face. I want a guy that celebrates when his team does good. Kirby Smart, he got all that onside kick last week when he was all fired up. That's what you want to see when you're a fan of a team. You want to see your coach that have as much vested interest as yourself.
All right. All right, calculator.
Oh.
What do we have remaining? I think you got to ask me something, don't you?
I got to ask you something. I got to ask it because it's almost time on one of the things that Mr. 41 believes in. But there's 3 things that Mr. 41 believes in. And he's about to tell all our new listeners, if you're here, the 3 things that 411 misbelieves in. Tell the people, Mr. 411.
All right, Mr. 401 believes in the man upstairs. Number 1. All right, the man upstairs, man. Without the man upstairs, none of this would be possible. Things wouldn't happen in the order that it needs to happen to get us to where we are. All right?
Yep.
I mean, Mr. 401 is thankful for the man upstairs. He's helped get this 401 sports world up and running, meeting great people like the calculator, and so on and so forth. Mr. 401 is thankful for the man upstairs. That's 1. All right. Number 2, with every episode, and I can't believe we're almost through our regular season portion of CTL. But man, I mean, time is getting closer, man. Old Saint Nick. Mr. 401 believes in Old Saint Nick. Yep. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why.
Yes, sir.
Santa is coming to town. There's some things that I want, and I just definitely hope Santa brings it to me. And you know what? Santa doesn't have to wait till December 25th. Hey, you can bring it sooner. All right. I mean, I think in a real kind of way, I think he's done that all season for all of us by bringing the calculator on with CPL, helping everybody fatten their pockets.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. And then number 3, calculator. Buckle up for this one. Mr. 411 believes in someone that you are familiar with, someone that you are able to get in contact with and swap information with from time to time. I don't know where y'all do it at. I don't even know how you find them, but I'm glad he delivers for us every week. And that's Dr. Sachs and the algorithm.
Yes, hey, and actually the calculator faded Dr. Sachs last week in that Penn State Michigan State game, and he tried to tell me, he said, I don't know, calculator. The model says Penn State's going to cover. I said the algorithm is it taking into? I mean, is it taking into the emotional letdowns of playing one? I was playing that. He said, hey, numbers don't take into numbers, and if you look at this one, you got 2 games Friday night, folks, and we're bringing you both games, one myself and one in the algorithm, because I'm telling you, my Friday night special was I was going to take Hawaii plus 2.5 against UNLV, but then I started looking when Dr. Sachs delivered this line, I started looking at the numbers like, oh, I'm not going to. I don't fade the algorithm, especially when it's on a 6-game win streak, folks. That's right, 6 straight. That the algorithm, because what does the algorithm do? It takes year-to-date numbers, and it takes everything. So it's going to take all these numbers. So it's going to take, Hawaii's been on a good, winning streak lately. But you know what? They're going to have some tendencies that happen in week 1, week 2. They don't completely go away, right? So it takes all those numbers and it spits out a number. And what the algorithm really likes is it, again, under another key number. And it really likes that. I think what the algorithm is also pulling a lot of, again, road home splits, because it's going to take the stats of Hawaii at home, Hawaii on the road. Guess what? Hawaii has to travel to Vegas. Hawaii in a dome, Hawaii not in a dome. It's in Vegas, so it's going to be in a dome. It takes all these, every single factor you could take, it takes in. And you know what? I'm going with the algorithm. I'm backing you. I'm not backing them. the algorithms backing them. So take Dr. Sachs's advice. Go with UNLV. Hey, you could do the double action if you want. You could do a regular parlay. NC State -4.5 or +4.5, UNLV -2.5. See if that works for you. But yeah, another Friday night special, courtesy of Dr. Sachs. He says the model really likes UNLV -2.5. Don't take my word for it. Don't take 411's for it. Hey, don't even take Dr. Sachs' word for it. Take what the model and the algorithm is saying. Take the numbers and trust the algorithm.
Yes, sir. All right. The model does its thing. I mean, that secret's got to be safer. I think it's more secure than the formula for Coca-Cola. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, hey, that's why I always try. I try to get a little bit, and every now and then he might say, well, he says, I'll give you a little thing. The model really likes the home field advantage for this team, or the model really likes the explosive. A defensive explosive rate allowed by this team. So every now and then he does give me a little, thing of what the model's looking at. And I appreciate Dr. Sachs every now and then giving me a little peek behind the curtain. Not much, because like you said, he's been working and he's still perfecting it. As he said, it's still not perfect, and nothing's perfect. But hey, I told Dr. Sachs, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be 56% perfect, because that's when you can make a profit.
There you go. That's what we do. That's what we do here. All right. Well, look, we're thankful for Dr. Sachs and that algorithm. We're thankful for everybody who's tuned in week and week out. Hey, we're not done. All right. We're just letting you know that the regular season portion is almost near its end.
Yep.
But we have some other things up our sleeves. So make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, notification bell, and share. Calculator.
Hey,
why we gotta share?
Sharing is caring, my friends. Hey, but that's why they got to notify, so they can see what we have in the future. And if they're not notified, how are they going to know what we have planned for our fans in the future?
That's right. Absolutely. All right. And Bo, we're out here. We still out here, Bo. We see you. All right. So, this episode is for you as well, Bo. All right. We haven't forgotten you, man. There's some requests that I've heard through the grapevine that you're looking forward to. Be ready for that too. We already know you hit the like button, and subscribe, share, and all that. Yeah. But be ready, Bo, because something's coming your way soon.
That's right. Mr. 411's working overtime to get that stuff for Bo. I love it.
Absolutely.
Because 411, Bo says when he's texting me, he always says, he signs off, "This is Bo, CTL #1 fan."
That's right. That's right. All right, and that a great timing. Way to set me up there. You was like John Stockton, throwing the alley-oop, and I'll be Shannon Anderson. Okay.
There you go.
So I just caught the alley-oop right there, laid it up. All right, here we go. This is for you, Bo. We thank you. All right, we're gonna catch you down the line, and everyone, we're gonna catch y'all next week, crossing the lines, for a special episode. So be ready for it. All right. We out of here, people.
Out of here.